October 2nd, 2024 with flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Here.
Here.
Mrs. Pruitt. Here. Mr. Krimenacher.
Here.
Mrs. Krimenacher. Here. Mrs. Lee. Here. Mr. Shell.
Here.
Basil.
Here.
Here.
Okay, has anyone signed up for speak?
Yes.
Okay, remember, 5 minutes maximum. Please stay on topic. State your name and your address. Mr. Conley.
Okay, there we go. All right, name Colin Slade, 701 Dutch Run Road, Nicktown. All right, I'm here going to provide some details about a school board member social media post that details were left out again to likely justify that member's position.
Oh,
on that
excuse
matter.
me,
No,
any
no, no.
public comment has to be regarding something that is on the agenda, am I correct? That has been the case in the
You're
past.
supposed to stay to the agenda. If you,
It deals with the agenda.
will make sure you get to that.
I am,
mean,
it's in the next code.
if it
Danielle,
doesn't,
It's my job to handle this.
okay, well,
Just-
make sure.
Okay, so after reading her post, I'm going to, going to report back on the details that were left out of there concerning Mr. Shell. Okay, at school board meeting, at a prior school board meeting, the president stated Mr. Shell had not been present for a number of consecutive meetings. So I looked at the attendance from the posted meetings and the meetings I've attended, and the president was correct. At the previous meeting, which was posted about, school board members post, that is,
It's
the
me.
president graciously referenced PA School Code Section 3-319 and Northern Cambria School Board Procedure Policy number 004. So I will restate those items for you because they were mistakenly left out of that post. If a person having qualified as a school director and any qualified school director who is a member of a joint board or who is selected as a member of a joint school committee or who is a member of a joint school committee by virtue of the provisions of a school board agreement shall neglect or refuse to attend successive regular meetings of the school board, joint board, or joint school committee unless detained by sickness or prevented by necessary absence from the district or in attendance at any meeting shall neglect or refuse to act in his official capacity as a school director. The remaining members of the board may declare his office as director vacant. Okay, so now I'm going to read Northern Cambria School Board Procedures Policy 4, section removal. If the school director shall neglect or refuse to attend 2 successive regular meetings of the board unless detained by sickness or prevented by necessary absence from the district, or if in attendance at any meeting he shall neglect or refuse to act in his/her official capacity as a school director, the remaining members of the board may declare such office vacant on the affirmative vote of a majority of the remaining members of the board. Okay, now part of that is also vacancies. A vacancy shall occur by reason of death, resignation, removal from the district or region or otherwise. Such vacancies shall be filled in accordance with the School Code and Sunshine Act and by appointment by a majority vote of the remaining members of the board within 30 days of the occurrence of the vacancy. All right, so I just came here to provide that information officially at a school board meeting since it was left off that post. I really can't understand why these were left off the post since that's what the board's supposed to do. Why is it scandalous? Let me get the word here, or squirrely, if that's what they're compelled to do by policy and by
It's never been done
Yeah,
before.
Danielle,
school
please.
board code. I have a
Past
feeling that this
precedent.
won't be clarified on the post, but it sure would be nice if the constituents were to get the full information from the person using her private social media post to detail school board events. So,
Thank you. There is no one else. So
Am I able to elaborate?
at this time.
Am I able to elaborate? I'm a school board member. I'm able to comment, correct, Toby?
This is public comment
This is
section.
public
Yeah.
comment.
Okay, which were passed, right? There's no other public comment to be made.
Yeah, you know what? When I was ripped at a meeting that wasn't on the agenda,
You got to
I
speak.
got the reply.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
By
did
the way,
you,
mine wasn't on the agenda and I still let it happen.
excellent. So while you did your investigative work, did you do any other investigative work if this was ever happened in the past?
Am I allowed?
You don't need to
reply?
look at Kevin. Yeah, I'm
No,
asking
no,
you.
no,
Right.
Your time is over.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just so you know, Dr. Krug has also missed consecutive meetings if you were looking at attendance. Mr. Jay Booker has also missed consecutive meetings if you're looking at attendance. Mr. Jeff Messina has also missed consecutive meetings for the same amount of attendance. Never was there a precedent that there needed to be an excuse or anything else. Never was brought up before that. You want to know why it was brought up? Or do you don't care? But you seem to care about other posts, so I'm just trying to ask. So I've never seen you before at a school board meeting in my whole life. I've been here 6.5 years, so
You haven't been paying attention.
I guess I haven't. I didn't talk to you, sir.
DJ, this is comment.
Okay, well, I'm making my comment. So obviously, if anybody wants to go through, we might as well just go through it, why I'm here tonight. So we'll probably break out in an executive session, but I'm here tonight basically because in July, when I respectfully told you guys, I built a house, I'm gonna be moving out of the district. You guys will get rid of me soon enough. But legally, once I change my address, I'll be done. That could be in a week and a half, that could be in 2 months, whenever I officially move into my new house. Which I follow the rules. I don't break rules. I don't really give a shit about that side of the table or this side of the table. I've been my own man for 6.5 years, buddy. So it don't bother me. But the truth is, when they decided to do this, not once was I notified. I wasn't notified by Dr. Krug. I wasn't notified from anybody from the school. There's also school policy that says I need to be notified and I need to be able to plead my case. That didn't happen either. But you didn't, in your investigative work, didn't get to those points or facts. So there's that. Also, I would like to know why I'm the only school board member that's been singled out for excessive absences when it's also happened on Dr. Krug's tenure that 2 other school board members have missed excessive board meetings before that. And it was never brought up or it was an issue before that. But now, since there's 2 other board members that could be moving also, and if I'm still a board member and he could lose the majority, then it's time to get rid of PJ. I'm not dumb. I have common sense. And believe me, if you think I'm gonna go play away quietly, you're sadly mistaken, because nobody knows who the hell I am. I'm not the person to mess with.
Done?
Yep.
Be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter the executive session at 6:08 PM for legal reasons. I'll make the motion. Mr. Jerry Krimenacher. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
Yes.
Jen has to leave the meeting, so that's when this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, be resolved, the Board of Education resumed the committee of the whole meeting resumed at 6:46 PM. Okay, folks, I'm going to expedite a motion under legislation and policy development, item A, board seat vacancy to this time, because it may have ramifications for the rest of the meeting. So I'm gonna read that right now. Be it resolved, the Board of Education declares the office of Director of Mr. P. Patrick Shell vacant according to the provisions of the Pennsylvania Public School Code, section 319, and Northern Cambria School District Policy 004. I will make that motion. Here, Mr. Jerry Krimenacher. Okay. Any comments?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on, Jerry, nothing? Okay, Mike, I think you had your hand up first.
Go ahead. I just wanna, just a couple comments. One, I think from a transparency standpoint, I think it appears to me, at least on the, outside looking in, that it appears that things are trying to be accomplished, based on this seat. I think it's really important that the board keep their moral integrity and their values based on what they feel is the right thing to do based on conversations I can't disclose that we have, but I think it's really important that they take into account, what is the right thing to do in this case, and also from the standpoint of, I think it would be professionalism to at least notify a board member if I'm meeting the expectations of what that seat requires. I think attendance is important. I don't want to discount it, because I think it is important that we're here at these meetings, but I think if we're not meeting the expectations of the president or whoever it might be, that it'd be professional courtesy for that seat to at least have a conversation with that person before a seat that is voted by the public, put in office for. So that's really all I've got.
Who else had their hand up? Oh, go ahead, PJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to make a public statement as well, just so you guys understand. I'm not sure if that should have been an executive session or not, with it being on the agenda that they want to remove a school board official, which would be me. I have missed a numerous amount of meetings, and I have done that, you know, at my leisure, due to, you know, some personal reasons, which I do have an excuse for that. I don't know if that's gonna matter or not, or if mental health is a thing that is considered a sickness. I'm not sure if I'm, sometimes people would probably question my mental state, but for the most part, what I struggle with is the reasoning. There, as I told you, when I addressed Mr. Lieb here in the crowd, there has been numerous board members that have missed consecutive meetings, also with current board members that were on the board during that time, that none of that was ever brought up. Their seats were never in question, their attendance was never in question, an excuse was never in question for them to provide or do anything like that. The one things that I do take personal and that I do try, as anybody knows, that I've been very transparent from once I got on the board. I don't agree with, I've had disagreements with everybody down this board. I'm my own person and I'm only for the school. I don't have a clique. I don't have people that I side with or do anything like that. Whatever I feel is the best for the school is what I do. I was assigned athletics at the beginning of the year with Dr. Krug. And after everything started in the beginning of the year and it was very chaotic and loud and arguments, that's when it started to wear on me a little bit. So when I met with my counselor, he said, you should see what's on that agenda. If you feel that it's gonna be, you know, something that's gonna drive your anxiety up or whatever, you know, that's at your discretion. So that's what I did, because I never thought that my seat was gonna be in question. But here we are today with my seat in question. I also want to leave that I was removed from athletics at the last meeting by Dr. Krug, but during that time that I was not at the meeting, our beautiful stadium that we go and that we're proud of, even though it's an eyesore and that it needs a lot of tender loving care. I do care about our students. I do care about the district. I had a conference call on Monday with Rosebud Mining, who is going to give us $100,000 if we can match that. And we also had applied for a grant that was $50,000 through the NFL, that we had to match at least $50,000, which the school approved. So hopefully, if we could use that $50,000 towards the 100,000, and only the community and whoever else that wants to try to donate to get us to 100,000, we could probably fix a lot of the things at the stadium that has been given Jeff headaches since he's got here. My hope is, like I said, I was voted on by the people. I've done right by the school every time that I'm here, that I do service. I never shy away from a conversation or an argument. but I've always done the respectful thing and respected everybody that I'm on board with. So my hope is that the people that are voting for me today respect me enough to see my term end on my term. So whenever I would change my address, whether that be, in a month or two or whatever that is, so that I can get into my house and then they can fill the seat as need, because I feel that I'm an asset to the school still and that I'm working hard for our district. So that's all I have to say.
Anyone else? Go
Sure.
ahead, Jen.
And I stand by my post on Facebook. Because this does, in my opinion, appear squirrely. The timing of this and the fact that this has never happened on our board before, where people have been absent numerous times and their membership was never questioned. The timing of this with regard to the majority that these folks hold, I'm gonna say it. I'm not saying it on Facebook. I'm saying it right here. It's squirrely and it appears very unethical. So there you have it.
Anyone else?
I have one comment.
Go ahead.
We're in the midst of a building project that is pressing $30 million. And I feel that attendance is most important at this time. That's all.
Anybody else? You already had your chance. Go ahead, Mark.
I think whether, the past board followed, did a precedent or not, it's time for the new board to step up and say, the school or PSBA set codes for a reason, and that's why they're there. You need to follow them, you need to obey them, that's why they're there, or else we have, that's why there would be no law and order.
That's why I also brought an excuse and followed the PSBA codes from their lawyer.
And I would just
One more
remind
time,
everyone.
Dan. Go ahead.
We have a building project going on and we have paid $800,000 to the best construction management firm in the state to take care of that. So whenever change orders come up and our construction management firm says this is what we need to do, we should never be questioning that because they know what's best. We don't. And yet these hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're worried about, Norma, you argue with Nick anytime you feel like it. So I don't know if you're trying to contradict yourself, but you're contradicting yourself.
That's it. Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Hoover?
No,
Dr. Coe?
Based on over 53% absentee rate and 100% absentee rate since June 4th, I'm gonna say yes.
Mrs. Crew? Yes. Mr. Krimenacher?
Yes.
Mrs. Krimenacher?
Yes.
Mrs. Lee?
yes,
Mr. Chow?
This really doesn't matter, right? Just think, if I wouldn't have came, the vote would have still happened the exact same way. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. I can't
PJ,
believe
what's your
that.
vote? PJ, what's your vote?
I don't need to vote.
Nathan,
I'll vote yes, I'm out. I'll side with you on this one, Kev. Great job. You did a great thing. Nobody.
next.
No, we're.
No.
And Mrs. Johnson. Motion carries.
See you guys. Seriously. Unbelievable. I'll get you in contact with
Just for
Rose, but
submission.
try not to screw that up.
We're gonna have to probably use item B now. So be it resolved, the Board of Education fills the vacant office of director on the Northern Kansas School District Board of Directors by appointing blank for the remainder of the term according to the provisions of the Pennsylvania Public School Code, section 319, and Northern Kansas School District Policy 004. I'll make the motion. So, Mr. Jerry Krimenacher, now since I made the motion, I'll go first on this and explain. At the last meeting, I told people if this was going to happen, to bring names to, for possibilities of appointment to this. I don't know whether you did or not, but now is the time to put the names out there if you guys have this. Jerry, right? Mr. Wall West. Let me write that down. Mr. Wall West. And he's from where? Susquehanna Township. Susquehanna Township. Anybody else? Danielle, go ahead.
Nora Robochuk,
And from where?
Susquehanna Township.
Who was that name, please?
Nora Robochuk, from where?
Susquehanna Township.
Anyone else?
I have a couple of names. Mr. Booker showed interest in maybe coming back, but I didn't ask him if
Which
he
Mr.
was
Bruger?
Mr. J. Booker, but I didn't ask him.
The gentleman that was
What-
habitually
what-
absent last year when you were
What,
president.
hey, Danielle, I'm asking for names here.
Okay,
Relax.
saying, save us
Where,
the time.
where's he from? What towns, what's he living? In Susquehanna also?
It would be Susquehanna, maybe,
Susquehanna?
our previous board member.
Nora was a previous board member too, so.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, so those are the three names. All right, what are we gonna put on there? Now, what I'm gonna say is, no matter who we pick, if it does happen tonight, they will not be sworn in until the next regular meeting, which is in 2 weeks, I believe. Okay, so they will be sworn in that night. That would be, I believe, the 16th of October, if I'm correct.
Kevin, can I ask a question?
Yes, Mike.
In the past, when Betty was nominated, did Betty fill a seat, Norma filled a seat?
They both did, yes.
How was the past election done? Weren't they,
I don't
did they
think
come
that
from?
matters, though.
Well, I'm just wondering
The
from
school
a,
code says anybody who's eligible to
I agree.
run for the seat
I agree,
may be appointed.
I read it. I'm just curious, though, did we choose them from people that were actually interested in getting the seats?
I
Like
don't,
people that
I
ran?
don't remember that.
Yes, we did.
But I don't think it matters. Does it matter? It's only electable people within the district.
It can be anybody.
Should we open up to the public to ask them to
No,
submit a,
it's board appointed, I believe.
well,
I
it
think
could be
it's a
board
board
appointed, but we don't know who's all interested from the public. There could be other people that have interest in a
Jerry, did you
qualification.
happen to talk to Mr. Weston? Was he interested? Yes. And he would fill the seat if he got voted on? Yes.
Is
Okay,
he from Bard Township?
Susquehanna Township. Did you talk to Jay Bruger?
Yes, just to ask if there was interest,
Was it?
maybe.
Maybe, okay, that's fine. How about Mrs. Nora Bocha?
Yes, she agreed.
She was interested and she'd take it if she was?
Yes.
So that leaves probably two. So it'd be Bob Westrick or Nora Bocha. Okay. You have an opinion, Carol?
Do I have an opinion?
Yeah, which one?
I don't have an opinion right now.
Okay. Right down. Gary, I'm gonna guess you're saying Bob, right? Yes. I'll say Bob. So that'd be me. Norm? Only if we get enough, I have to find out who we're gonna put in the thing. We don't get enough to put in the thing, we need to get open.
Do you need
Norm,
3 to put it on?
you can put down whoever you want, I don't care.
I'll say Mr. Westrick. Is that Bob or Robert?
Bob, it said Bob Western. So I'm guessing it's Robert, probably. Hold on, Daniel, I'm coming.
I'm just waiting.
Mark, any,
I'll vote for Bob.
Bob? Go ahead, Daniel.
Are we gonna ask for credentials for Mr. Westrick? What are his qualifications?
No, if he's able
Anybody
to
with a
hold the
heartbeat.
seat and he's lives in the district and he's able to be electable, that's all that matters. You want Nora
Obviously, yes.
and,
Okay, I just want to state real quick, I still think we should go out to the public and open for a week. If we're not gonna do that, that's fine, Danny, I'm just stating it for the record.
Yep.
I know who Bob is, he seems like a nice gentleman, I know specifically he was against the building project, so I'm sure what his mindset probably is. Seemed like a nice gentleman, but obviously I'm gonna pick Nora, I just wanted that to be on a public record.
well, we only have 4 and 2, so we'll probably just complete this over till next time since Carol's kind of undecided, so, but please come next time. It's gonna go on the next agenda. We have 30 days to put this person in. So, and it starts from tonight, I believe. Is that correct? It starts from tonight. So, yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision by the next meeting, okay? So just think about that. We'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Can we have a motion on the floor? We have to vote
Okay,
on
then
that.
I motion to, table this until the regular meeting. And I will make that motion to table this. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mrs. Moore, Krimenacher. Since there's no, discussion with that, all in favor? Anybody opposed?
I am.
Okay, no one was opposed, so that's gonna be 6-1. So, 6-1. And Jen is absent. So we'll put that on for the next meeting. Item B. For that, okay? All right. Okay, administrative report, superintendent.
So I was just on the conference that I recently attended. To get my microphone. So it was an excellent conference, and two main things that I brought back from this report, from this conference was that we were looking at the 990 hours or 180 days. So the state has changed. Before, our students in our schools had to attend 990 hours and 180 days. So now we have the option of doing that. We attend more than 990 hours. And we still, our teachers still attend 180 days. So we do have some flexibility, and if the board ever wanted to discuss this flexibility, we do have some flexibility with snow days. Those could be days that I have the teachers attend, but students not attend. I can have teachers do professional development. Bid days, we still have those, but again, we can have students attend virtually, or we could choose not to have students attend virtually. So as long as we reach our 990 hours. Again, teachers can do professional development. We also have some flexibility with our seniors. Again, as long as they have their 990 hours. So these are things that I've kind of thrown out to the high school principal, talk to the teachers, but I just wanted to put this out there that if this was something that you wanted to discuss, this also means that technically the graduation date does not necessarily need to be the last day of school. So things to think about. The other thing we talked a lot about at this conference was AI, artificial intelligence. And some things that I know that we need to work on with our staff to remind people that with AI, the data is not private. So if our teachers or staff are using that information, they should not be using anything on that is private or confidential, because that goes out into an algorithm and that can be brought up in anyone's algorithm. We've already asked teachers to have expectations at the high school of where or how they're going to allow students to use AI. We don't want them to use AI to grade student assignments without also reviewing their own grading rubrics. The board policy will need to be continually revised, reviewed due to the nature, the aspects of AI, and our staff also needs training on AI. So those were the important things that I brought back from the conference, and just wanted to share with everyone. Thank you.
Elementary.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I would first of all like to say congratulations to the September Students of the Month. Kindergarten, Leah France, first grade, Maddie Davis, second grade, Annabelle Considlow, third grade, Trevor Amsdale, and fourth grade, Natalie Eady. I'd also like to thank the PTO for a couple things. They did provide our students with water bottles, pre-K through 4. All of the students, and then students that wanted them at the middle school level. I'd also like to say thank you to the PTO and Mrs. Karanish for planning and running the book fair for all the elementary and middle school students last week. It's always a fan favorite. And lastly, just a couple things that are going on in the classrooms. Mrs. Lytle's life skills students are busy creating patterns in math, learning new sight words with their new friend Mo from their early literacy skill builder curriculum. They're learning how to wash dishes and wash clothes. And lastly, another exciting development at the elementary, Mrs. Smith. Her students in third and fourth grade have been invited to join in the Northern News team. These students will be responsible for various jobs in the production of a newspaper and weekly broadcasts. Some of the jobs these students will be responsible for are writer, photographer, editor, and news anchor. Her gifted students will then use the material created by other students and put together the weekly broadcasts using iMovie. So we're really excited about that. Thank you.
Middle school.
Hello, the students of the month for September, in 8th grade was Colton Brawley, 7th grade Willow Patterson, 6th grade Leah Chen, and 5th grade Haley Piper. In September, the focus in the middle school was teaching our new PBIS Colts expectations to all of the students during their win period. Students are expected to follow our Colts motto of being caring, organized, listeners, trustworthy, and safe. And since all of the expectations have been taught, we have been reinforcing one area to focus on during the announcements each week, just to keep those fresh in the kids' mind all the time. All of the spring PSSA and Keystone data has been delivered here to the school, and they will be going home with the first marking period report cards with the students and the families. And after school tutoring for middle school students will begin next week. So we will be running that on Mondays and Wednesdays for all students who might benefit from some after school tutoring. Thank you.
High school.
Good evening, everyone. Today is actually National Custodian Appreciation Day. So I want to take time to thank all of our custodians. Our National English Honor Society made cards for all of them. And they also were given some donuts from the staff. So thank you to all of our custodians. They do a great job. Also, Ms. Dillon and Mrs. Norman invited a former college professor, Dr. Mark Previte, to conduct an actual college class and lecture for our AP and college prep students. The lecture exposed students to the rigors and expectations of college level work and helped them reflect on what steps they need to be more prepared for college. The marching band and Mr. Montanaro hosted 64 members of band and color guard alumni on September 20th. The group met prior to the game for a rehearsal and a dinner with our current band members. 52 of those alumni took an active part in both the pregame and halftime performances. They also took an active part in the stands as well. The evening was terrific and received positive feedback from the community, our alumni, and local media outlets. Our current marching band performed for the audience in a 5th quarter performance of their show. Our marching band will be performing at the Indiana Area High School Band Fest on October 19th, and our performance time is at 7:10 p.m. The marching band will be featured in this Friday's, which was October 4th, Johnstown Tribune Democrat as the featured marching band, so be sure to check out the Tribune Democrat on Friday. Mrs. Miko held her last launch for her foreign travel club trip on September 18th. Students and adults that signed up for the night of the meeting received $2,000 in scholarships from EF Tours and $1,000 in scholarships donated by Mrs. Miko using her Global Ambassador points. There are 23 students and parents traveling to the Mediterranean in June of 2025. SAD, which is our Students Against Destructive Decisions group, had a table set up at the Pool Bowl football game with face painting and tattoos as a fundraiser for Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. $100 was donated to Maverick's Mission from this event. Dina Miko and Jessica Chunko sponsored this event. Mrs. Daisley and the National Honor Society hosted the fall blood drive in the gym on Monday, this past Monday. 36 people showed up to donate blood, and we were able to produce 28 units of blood, which is the most collected in at least the last 4 blood drives. Commissioner Tom Chernisky visited the high school yesterday to discuss the importance of voter registration with our senior students. This was coordinated by myself and Sarah Klein. Students were also given information linking them to a website where they can register to vote when they turn 18. Some of them are working on that, and some of them just aren't ready to register yet. Students enjoyed a pep rally game day of rock, paper, scissors coordinated by Corinne Basil, Kim McCracken, and our cheerleaders, where students, teachers, and other people could play in between classes and study halls and at lunch, not disrupting education. The students were each given a set of beads, and winners accumulated the beads. The winner who had the most beads competed at the pep rally in the gym, so it went on throughout the day. The students loved this game and said that they really liked talking with other students outside their friend groups. They sat down and even wrote some suggestions in one of their study halls on how to use this for one of our PBIS rewards days. So I love hearing things coming from them. And it was really nice watching different student groups interact in the high school. So that's also because we don't have cell phones going, so thank you for that too. But it's nice to see them interacting and socializing in different ways. We've had college visits so far from Penn West, Gannon, Penn State, and IUP. And on Tuesday, November 5th, Brittany Daisley and our high school gifted students, along with Mrs. Strini, are planning our second annual college and career fair at the high school. Also, on Wednesday, and I didn't mark the date on this for whatever reason, it's later in October, I want to say the 20th. Our students will be attending the Alternatives to College Expo that's hosted at the Hope Volunteer Fire Company by Senator Langerholt. This is our second year attending this event for career opportunities, and it's for careers that do not require four-year degrees. So it's an additional way of exposing our seniors and our juniors possibly to some other career choices that do not involve college. Our SATs will be held at the high school on Wednesday, October 16th. And our high school students of the month will be chosen at the end of October. We usually wait a month until we do that, so we don't have ours yet. Thank you.
Period, Mr. Crowe, here. So we'll go to cafeteria.
Okay, so for the month of October, just a couple of events that we will be hosting. Today, we actually had Wellness Wednesday with our elementary students and we served broccoli salad. Tomorrow is Farm to Fork. And every Thursday during the month of October up to our Thanksgiving dinner, we will be serving some type of fresh produce, local produce that we get in through our vendors. So tomorrow we will be serving tomato and cucumber salad district-wide. We will be having next week our cafeteria committee meetings with our high school and middle school students. And then Molly will be coming October 10th to do some type of milk event with our elementary students. And at the end of the month, we will be having our baked potato bar for our middle school and high school students. So that's for October.
And maintenance.
Good evening, everyone. A few things since the last meeting. Up at the high school, I had, coming diesel out, we replaced the, bad circuit board on the diesel engine up there for the generator, and it's working currently as it should, so that's good news. Also, we've been investigating the last couple of days, a small water leak from the roof. We kind of narrowed it down to our spot today. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get that issue resolved and get that taken care of. Here at the elementary school, the generator here as well, had a bad relay last Friday. We took most of the day to search that and investigate what the issue was, and we got that issue resolved. So currently, our generator is looking at should be as well, so that's good news. Cafeteria, we had walk-in freezer, we had a short, with the lights. I think Kristen had something to do with that, but we won't go there. So we investigated that and, got that issue resolved as well. Couple other things, just normal day-to-day stuff that we find working in a building like this. Water leaks, electrical outlets, invasion of small varmints and rodents. We've been chasing them pretty heavily the last couple of weeks. So other than that, just normal routine stuff.
Thank you. Okay, guys, the first executive session we had was a recommendation from our legal counsel. This executive session will be for the items that are gonna be coming up in the agenda. So.
Would you like to do buildings and grounds part? So that our psychological people could leave it then.
Is that okay with you? Or is there something bigger than that?
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine, we'll do that.
Thank you.
All right, item A, site logical.
All right, so this is the update for September site work. We completed the excavations for the footings and foundations for the gym extension. Site work wise, we won't have much until next summer. We'll have a parking lot for the classroom addition, along with the additional work out front in front of the gym extension. Next slide, please. The phase 1 classroom addition, install rainwater conductors on the second and first floor. Whenever the roof goes on, that's kind of keeping water off to the extent possible currently, but once the the roof is installed, that will keep the structure inside dry. Completed pouring concrete, in the structure blockouts, began metal stud wall framing, and began the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-ins. The picture on the top left is the pouring of the concrete blockouts. The bottom left is the rainwater conductor piping. Get everything off the roof into the storm system. Top right is framing, along with the bottom right as well. Phase 2 areas A, B, and C, those areas were turned over on the 13th, and they're instructing in those spaces now. And there's some pictures of the completed space. The left is the band room, and the right is the art room, which I believe is currently being used as a science room.
Temporary science room, yes.
Phase 3, the last update, we talked about the pre-K room and cafeteria being turned over. Since then, we've continued to work in the boiler room. And also the cafeteria toilet rooms have been completed. So there's some pictures of the toilet rooms in the cafeteria. They turned out very well. The two on the left are inside. One on the right is kind of looking in, and then on the bottom right is the hallway leading from the classroom wing into the cafeteria. Phase 4, the gym extension. Completed the installation of footings and foundations, began installing concrete masonry unit walls, began foundation waterproofing, and began foundation insulation and under slab rough-ins. On the left, top left, you can see the masonry walls being laid. I believe they're grouting them in that picture as well. The bottom left is the foundation waterproofing. Top right is just another portion of the footings poured, and the bottom right, you can see some of the rough-ins inside for the piping, along with foundation insulation on the interiors. Phase 5, we just began this phase after phase 2 areas A, B, and C were turned over. So phase 5 encompasses the library, the auditorium, and classrooms. Going through phase 5, that's going to be done in sections of 5 to 7 classrooms at a time. It might be more, it might be less, whatever works for the school district. We're trying to accommodate that while maintaining productivity and completing those spaces in a manner that works with the schedule. So demolition began for the architectural finish items, along with the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing items. We began saw cutting floors in preparation for under slab plumbing as well. There's some pictures. That's the corridor with the ceiling partially taken out, and there's temporary partitions on both sides of this corridor. The bottom left is demolition of some interior walls. The top right is just some more demolition, and the bottom right, you can see the slab saw cut preparation for plumbing. The schedule review. So right now, the last update we talked about was update number 6. We have the schedule update number 7 update sheets out to all of the contractors. They are to provide them back to us on the 9th, and we'll be discussing that on the 14th. So once that gets completed, I can send it to the district for everybody to review. And the items below that we've talked about at the last meeting. The payment application summary. This is not updated from the last meeting either. As of today, this morning, there were still revisions that we were waiting on from some of the contractors. So whenever we get those revised payment applications back, as long as there's no other revisions made, we can finalize that. This will be, the updated summary will be included in the monthly report I provide to the district for everybody to review. Some of the challenges, we've been discussing the case on remobilization fee. We have that. I don't believe it's going to be nearly as bad as we previously suspected, so we're going to review that with Fiore, and then we'll bring that to the district whenever it's ready. The fire service line documents were issued for that pricing. We got some feedback that they needed additional information on some criteria for the piping and the vault, which Axis and their consultants got from the water authority, we provided that to the general contractor. And we are waiting for them to provide the pricing on that. And the locker room sanitary line, so obviously the sanitary line has been repaired at this point. We're waiting for the material to perform the ceramic tile patch. One other challenge I would like to add is we've talked about, the sanitary line in the boys locker room. We found another in phase 5, where the high school administration office is gonna be. And it goes across the hall into what I believe is that going to be the art room? And the nurses across the hall. So that shouldn't be as bad as the previous ones. There's a lot less terrazzo. The terrazzo patch has been the primary cost in the replacement of those sanitary lines. It does have to cross a corridor, but we've talked about an option or two that we can explore. We might be able to do it trenchless, just beneath the corridor, which could save a fair amount of money, just not having to patch that terrazzo. So we'll review that with the plumber. Also, there's 4-inch line. The line is 3-inch. I believe it was called out to be a 4-inch. We're tying 4-inch lines above upstream from that, so we can't go 4, 3, 4. So we will review that. We'll get a price together and share that with the district.
Nick?
Yeah.
You said on the plans, the original plans, it was called out to be a 4-inch line and in fact is a 3-inch, correct?
Yeah, and Dave,
Yeah, and you verified
Yes,
that.
and it's probably only a 1-inch line, because it was in the old art room, and I suspect over the years, they dumped a lot of things down the drains, and we could barely even get the camera to it. It's blocked, plus it's a steel pipe, it's deteriorated.
Thank you.
change management log, I've had added nothing for this month. Same thing there. Any questions? One thing I would like to add, I know that there's a motion for some additional work, not to exceed. And I just wanted to discuss the manner we would like to approach that. So there's 4 items listed on that motion. We would, with them being small in nature, the best way to approach that, in my opinion, would be to do it on a time and material basis, which would mean prior to them performing any of that work, they would let Dave know. They'd say, Dave, I'm going to do this activity. They would say, okay, they perform that work. When they're done, they say, Dave, I'm done. There's set wages from the prevailing wage rate. So they would be paid that plus any material costs they have. And then they would only get the markup, which is agreed upon in their contract, which is 15%. So for items smaller in nature, I think it's in the district's best interest because they're being paid for the work that they're performing. And it's not going to be a proposal where they're potentially assuming the worst case scenario. So in this instance, again, it would just be for the work that they're performing and they would be verifying these items. So again, I do believe that would be the best way to approach those items. Any questions?
Anybody have any?
Thank you.
Anything for that, Dave? No, one thing we do have to think about in the future, and it's coming up fast. We do want to get on the schedule of some meetings with the high school and how that moves and how the materials and everything from the high school is coming here. As everybody knows, we're out of room here. So there's a lot of thought and a lot of discussions have to happen on the move at the end of the project. Can I ask a question? When, you had said about this becoming a 1-inch line from a 3-inch line because of all the stuff that was dumped in it, since it was an art room or whatever it was. With the new art rooms and stuff, you guys put the clean outs in? Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, the new art room was relocated over by the end.
And one thing to add, any of the problematic areas that we've dealt with thus far, there's been additional cleanouts added, so that the problem should be resolved. They are resolved. But if there's ever a problem in the future, there's cleanouts much closer, just to deal with future issues.
And the new work is also being reported constantly. Okay, as I said before, the last executive session was on council's recommendation. This one is definitely for the stuff that's coming up and it's absolutely necessary. So we're gonna, with all the Board of Education went in executive session at, 7:26 PM. I'll make the motion for that. And this is to discuss litigation, contract, students, and personnel. Okay. I'll make the motion.
Second it.
So this is Nancy Rocker. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hopefully we'll. We will resume the committee, the whole regular meeting of executive, the second of executive session at 7:58 PM. Okay, we're gonna do data on the appraisal of the high school. Do we have one?
Yes. I received an email on September 26th from the appraiser. She will be here on October 14th at 9 AM to appraise the high school.
What time did you say, Laura?
9 AM.
What day of the week is it?
It's a Monday. It's an in-service day for us.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say if it's a work day. Just check.
Student lunch accounts.
So you have an attachment and 2 pages. The first page, this is a list of students who have withdrawn from our school district, but have a balance from the cafeteria. The second page, again, withdrawn students that owe us for Chromebooks or have a balance towards a Chromebook. I need some direction from the board as to whether you wish for us to pursue this. If there is a specific monetary amount that you wish for us to pursue, or if you wish for us to not pursue anything and just wipe the slate clean.
I have a question. I know private sector, there are certain steps you have to take to do this kind of stuff. Is it the same for the public sector?
To do what kind of stuff?
To correct.
I would have to do a little research on that.
Typically, we go through a magistrate.
That's usually not the first thing.
Well, they've received, yeah, they've received notices already.
And they haven't paid.
Correct.
This is hard.
I see the lunch,
two of
the
them that are
lunch
like
goes from
$407.
$1.80 to like 400 and,
Yeah, one's like 486 or 56 or something.
yeah, it's.
Or when you ran it. No, some of it's 22, some of it's older.
Does it go by withdrawal?
No, I think it goes,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
The Chromebooks.
Some of them are $1, but there's some that are $400.
That's for the cafeteria?
Yes.
Yeah.
The cafeteria, yeah, I said it goes from like $1.80
Under a certain amount, it's not worth it.
to $455, so,
Correct.
yeah.
So that's why I wanted guidance from the school board.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Are they, and they're larger for the Chromebooks, right?
They're all like.
Would you know to print that out for us? We can't, I can't pick that out.
It's hard to
Maybe
see on
just
here.
this computer.
Yes, I can.
For maybe even, just for the next meeting even, or whatever you get on.
Yes,
It's just hard to read.
Hey, Laura,
yes.
what is the year, what does that year indicate on the 6th column? Like it says year or,
That I think is the last school year that they were here.
Oh,
so.
So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. That is the last school year that they were here, or when they withdrew.
Like, well, the one that's on the school one, it says like, there's some like 2013.
Yes,
Okay, so they're that
Yes.
old.
yes,
Okay.
some of these are very old.
Mine, no.
how about,
Oh, yeah.
That is hard to read. Here, look at
You
mine.
can't.
This is.
If you click on the
Yeah.
sheet.
Years ago.
That they withdrew.
Yeah, it's not going in, like,
So summer's old.
it's just not increasing.
So anything beyond what year?
There's probably 2,000 things where.
All right, so what I can do is I can go through and anything 2020 and above. Print that, give you those amounts.
Yeah. Exactly. We said also seven. It's just probably seven.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to do everything.
What is gonna pass?
Does the board have to, yeah, this. Sure.
For the cafeteria, right? Higher than the-
I know that.
Some of them for the cafeteria are higher than the Chromebooks.
Yes.
So it's like,
There's two of them for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just get us more-
Order to pursue them sometimes, I don't know what it benefits.
Can you get us more information, Laura?
What more information do you want?
Well, a better, so we can see it, a better view of it and. I don't know how you're doing that.
This is for the.
She's working hard to get it. It's not, it's just not changing.
Purchase other than what, right?
Yeah, whatever the cutoff is, what they.
Oh, yeah, but yours didn't.
It's still.
It's still blurry, mine cleared up.
Even before they left. Why were they allowed to?
Well, we should, unless you're not. No,
Well, no, I know
Like, we
that.
used to hold the phone for overdue library books.
Well,
And they
read
used to
these
give
people
peanut butter and
left
jelly.
before they graduated. So we had nothing. Correct. So they just left.
Well, they're entitled to a free lunch. It's still their lunch.
So if the cafeteria is high, it's because it's the à la carte. Then we can.
Well, actually, some
Put a
of these
hold
are
on
very
that.
old. We don't, if they have
Yeah.
a zero balance, or if they don't have any money in the account, they can't get à la carte. So this is
then-
all before we started doing
Okay.
CEP.
Oh,
So this is all from before.
Oh,
This
okay.
is nothing recent.
Oh, I thought these were recent. I was gonna say, what would be?
And I would say too, like from 2020 forward, we haven't done
The
it like
four
the
hundred
last 4 years.
$55 one, that
What do
happened
you-
in 2013.
I think we should just,
No.
the business department, just send a letter, try to do what we can to recover, because a lot of these are really old.
Right.
And honestly, going to that.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Well, I can let the board know, we do send letters. We have tried to collect these.
Strongly worded.
As strongly worded as they,
Strongly worded.
yeah, but so we're at the point, we need to know. If you just want my office to make that decision, my office will make that decision, but we don't want it to come back on us that, why didn't you get that money?
What do you think, guys? I mean.
Well, future going on, the problem's solved, right?
For this,
Yeah.
yes, not for Chromebooks.
Don't forget, these are people that left before graduation, so it's really not high on our priority list.
Yeah.
No,
Still holding their diplomas.
well, we're gonna, let's hold her to.
Right.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, you guys can email,
Or put it on next time for a vote, Laura, as you need it, like as you,
Okay,
do that.
authorize, okay.
That's good.
yeah, if you have a system you can use to follow. we
I'll
can
talk with
just
Roland. and
decide
we'll
on
come up
that.
with it. Because you're right, sometimes it's more money to go after it than what you're going to get.
All right,
We certainly didn't want to balance these out to zero without a board.
No, right,
Knowing about it.
yeah,
let's put it, let you guys go.
yeah.
All right, the change orders, Nick had explained some of these as a,
Yeah.
item by work things.
Oh.
What is it called? Yeah,
I don't know.
it is, all the construction work that I guess we chose to do, is not to exceed $9,000. You guys can all read that. I'll make the motion. For item D.
I will second.
Sarah, this is Carol Lee. Any questions or comments on buildings and grounds, item D?
Have we exceeded, have we exceeded our change order limit?
But we're not even close.
No.
Our change order limit is, I think we're only at 50,000 right now. We have
Yeah, it's
750,000 left. But that will change.
Any questions or comments other than that? Go ahead, Mike.
Yep. So from what Nick said, this includes all the material, like the boards themselves and everything. Like that's part of the 9,000, like the whiteboards are part of what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I,
think you said the
He said time and material or something.
time and material.
Okay.
Their time as their
Yeah.
schedule, and then the material comes out of that, and they move on.
Okay, which would include whiteboards and
Yes.
stuff.
But actually, I would say the whiteboards we have and the
That's what I was gonna
cabinets
say.
we have. So it's mostly labor.
he's relocating, as he was
Yes.
leaving, I clarified that too. He's relocating some things from the high school that we have and replacing them here and different things that teachers have requested in their rooms.
Okay. All right,
So we are recycling as much as he can.
all right, that's all I needed. Thank you.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Second,
From Jen.
Jenna. All right, business and finance Chromebook charging locker, discuss the purchase of a Chromebook charging locker at a cost of $9,666.10.
The purpose behind this, when we are on one campus and we currently, our librarian currently works with exchanging Chromebooks for our students. She did have a paraprofessional, full-time paraprofessional that helped her with that. That paraprofessional has retired, we have not replaced at this point. I feel it's more important to have our librarian working with the students and our teachers rather than having her exchanging Chromebooks. Our technology people will be moved, they will have a main office on the second floor in the center between the elementary, middle school, high school, where any student that has issues with a Chromebook, they will then go there to exchange the Chromebook, to do whatever. Chris Barr recommended having a locker outside his office that new Chromebooks or fixed Chromebooks would be there. Students could go or teachers could go, punch in a code, swipe a card, whatever, and exchange that Chromebook for another one. So this is a way to ease that process. So again, not having someone sit at a desk all day long there, or have a teacher be responsible or an aide be responsible. So this is more of an automatic way to be able to provide Chromebooks or provide a new Chromebook to a student when theirs isn't working. It's on for discussion. If the board chooses to not do it, that's fine. But again, I see it's a better use of our resources rather than having someone checking in, checking out Chromebooks when they should be working with kids. So that's my recommendation.
We bought, charging carts,
This is nothing
so
like that.
that's what I was wondering, it's
This is
not,
a locker that is locked. So anyone can come to that, punch in the code, swipe the card, whatever is decided. They put their Chromebook in, they pull out one that's fixed. So I have a broken Chromebook. In the morning, instead of me waiting even to get it a new one, I can immediately go and get it done here at this Chromebook locker.
what is a maintenance cost on something like this? Is there one?
Maintenance cost should be nothing.
What's the accountability there for the kids'
Yeah, I
Chromebooks
was-
if they're able to do that on their own?
Because we know everyone's, we know which one belongs to a kid. Maybe we have them punch in their lunch number, that's how they would get it. So we would be able to track them as well as to who punched it out, who has it, plus we have cameras that we'd be able to see, because this would be out in the hallway. So if a kid got a new one, whatever Chromebook was in there, whatever that serial number is, Chris Barr has a listing of all those serial.
Is this, Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is this not the same as what you guys came to us and said, was it West Shamokin or somewhere ahead? Is this not the same idea, or is it?
I think it is.
That's from.
No, because I thought it was,
We thought it was cell phones, but I believe that it's that. I believe it was.
Yeah, because we couldn't
charging
tell what
one.
devices, what,
We
it
could.
looked like it would be for cell phones, but it might have been for Chromebooks.
can we reach out and find out how it works? and
They
how-
have them at Cambria Heights as well. They use them over there. And again, this was, a recommendation from Chris Barr.
Well, that was my next thing. How does Chris feel about this situation?
When I proposed to him the plan moving forward, this was his recommendation.
My other thought is, and I don't know if somebody said it down there and I couldn't hear, but if we have a librarian that we're paying a certain amount of salary to be doing librarian duties and teaching the students, I wouldn't want that person's time to be taken as an exchanger of Chromebooks, because otherwise we're paying a lot of money for somebody to just exchange Chromebooks all day. That person is here to do a skilled task. And if we are wasting that resource by paying her a decent salary or a salary that a librarian should be getting, we don't want her doing tasks beneath her or him.
My question is, how often do they exchange Chromebooks like this? Is there
Well-
50 kids a day going to this thing, or is there maybe one a week?
I would say there's probably maybe 10 a day. 10, 12, depending on the day.
So 10 Chromebooks break per day? Or need replaced per day?
Or may need some repair, possibly. There are times when I know we have, maybe my principals. I know there are times when sometimes we have 30 Chromebooks stacked up, we're waiting for Chris to go ahead and fix them.
Sometimes there are connectivity issues, sometimes like an E key just suddenly stops working.
So it's not necessarily, something that can be fixed. But instead of the student waiting a day or two to get their Chromebook back, this is a way they can get a working one immediately.
Or it might not be a broken Chromebook, it might just be a technical issue where you would
Correct.
call the help desk in and they'd come fix it. But there's a backlog sitting there, so to keep the student in play, just give them a Chromebook while theirs is waiting to get, whatever the update is or whatever.
So I'd be curious to find out from Chris how long, because technology changes and all of a sudden the plugs or the inputs are no longer accurate or accommodating to the equipment. So if it might be a charging locker, but in 2 years it could be outdated. That's what I'd be asking. What is
How old
the,
are our charging stations? They're probably 8 years old.
You were here when I came in, this is year 4.
Okay, so they're at least 4. Maybe more.
My only question, would these charging lockers go by like the brand of computer you have? So if you bought one brand of Chromebook, like this year, you have to stay with that for the next couple of years, or can you?
He always
flip-flop?
uses whatever.
Because I know we went by price this time, like he didn't go with the lowest, he went with the one he thought was the best. I just didn't know, like, are they specific to a certain brand? You know what I mean?
The charging ports would be the same for any type of Chromebook.
I
and
just
he would
wanted to make sure,
Yes.
yeah.
And he would definitely, that would be one of his priorities. Otherwise, everything else would be obsolete, it would just make his job so much harder.
if he has any more info to give us, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, community relations, nothing at this time. Curriculum instruction, nothing at this time. Legislation and policy development, item C. Be resolved, the Board of Education was discussed in executive session to approve the agreement between Northern Campus School District and student A. I'll make the motion.
Second.
And this is Norman Crew. We talked about this in executive session, so any questions or comments? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, item E, we do not need tonight. Item E, we do not need tonight. Policies open for review. You guys can look at those at your leisure. I think this is gonna be the first reading, so the next time will be the second reading, okay? Personnel, leave without pay. You guys, we talked about this in executive session. So do I have a motion? Mrs. Brooke? So Mrs. Mark Krimenacher? Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Mrs. Crew,
Yes.
Mr. Krimenacher,
Yes.
Mrs. Krimenacher,
Yes,
Mrs. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Basil,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Dr. Crew.
I'm gonna vote no, because I just don't think it's necessary. I think these positions are always open.
Motion carries.
Okay, item B, we talked about an executive session. We will have that on for the next meeting. As a rescinding,
We'll do two motions.
yes, rescinding and then the other, okay? Item C, ignite substitutes, you can see their names and the qualifications. I'm guessing they're all legal and stuff together, so. Do I have a motion for item C? Motion, Mr. Jerry Krimenacher, second, Mrs. Mark Krimenacher. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Staff development, there's nothing at this time. Student activities, you can see them there. This is a discussion thing. If you have anything to add on either one of these, the yearbook. I guess we should probably talk about that because there's a current balance on it, so.
Yes, so currently the yearbook has become cost prohibitive. It's over $100 per student. And we're not able to sell enough yearbooks to cover our costs. So we've also had a big turnover as to who our yearbook advisor is. So we've had new people coming in. So as of right now, we owe Jostens $1,908.63. Their yearbooks are about $100 a yearbook. We, talking with Lisa, Fred Montanaro, previous advisor, the current advisor, we discussed that we think it would be better to go with a different company. This Entourage yearbooks will charge $29 a yearbook. Huge difference. And we need to run 110 books, but we get $29 a book, so it's much, much cheaper. Problem is, we have to pay off Jostens because we're going to end our contract with them, or we're not going to renew a contract with them. Jostens said, well, renew with us, we'll forget the fee, but it was over $10,000 by the time we were done. So they were charging us eventually for this. So the recommendation is choose a different company. The books are much cheaper. We'll be able to sell the books much cheaper to our students. I think that will be advantageous for our students, but we will need to pay off the credit or the balance to Jostens. So I will need the board's approval to do that.
How many yearbooks did you say you have to sell to get the 29?
110 books.
Is the quality as good? Did you get a sample?
So Fred said it's a 3-color instead of a 4-color.
Hardback?
The quality, no, I'm sorry. That wasn't the correct terminology. It was, instead of printing it on an old printing press, the different each color, you do one color, then another color, then another color. I guess you use newer type printers where you can do 2 or 3 colors at a time. And he said they look very similar.
Is it a hardbound copy? Hardback?
Yes,
Laura,
yes.
is it really reasonable to expect that we'd sell that many yearbooks when there's only like 80 kids in a grade or something? I mean, what do we typically even
Correct.
sell in yearbooks, like 50 or something probably, or?
Correct. But we could recoup our costs here much more likely than the Jostens just hasn't been working.
Is that the minimum you can order, or is that like the pricing based on that number, and then if you get less, it just changes the
For
pricing?
Entourage or Jostens?
Entourage.
Yes, we need to $29, our cost would be $29 a book for 110 books. So the cost may go up for fewer books. So again, but it's much cheaper than Jostens.
But that's 3,000 compared to 90 for that lot allotment.
Do we enter a contract with Entourage that would say,
Yearly.
Yearly.
Contracts.
and how much? Do we just pay the cost of the yearbooks, or do we pay another fee to be a client?
We would pay $29 per book for 110 books, so
Okay.
that cost would include whatever other fees are included with that.
Okay,
What did they do with the ad money they sent?
They put that towards this cost, and that was the claim that we didn't sell enough ads or. Because right now, Jostens saying we owe them $4,500, but then they're saying we have a surplus of $1,000. And Yearbook has in its account right now about $1,600. So that would have been the ad money, and that has to go to pay for last year's yearbook. So. We're still in the hole, almost $2,000 for last year's yearbook.
Even draining the account. and all that
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
So what's a typical year's cost from Jostens? Because
$45.90,
this totals 3,190.
$45.90.
Cost was how much when, if you ordered your book this year from Johnston's, how much was it?
Cost per book, I don't have. But Lisa, do you know how much the kids paid? They're supposed to
That's what-
$100.
That's what I meant. What did each kid pay for the yearbook?
Nor behind me, you'll have a senior and she said it was around $80.
$80.
I'm just wondering what they're cutting back, like if they're gonna charge additional charges for each individual page and things that the kids want in there.
What's the percentage of each kid buying a book? 50%?
At $80, probably not, but at $50, maybe more.
Just trying to work out the math that we have. That's more.
So we owe $1,900, and we only have $1,600 in the yearbook account.
Now we owe 4,500.
$45.90.63 as of today.
And we only have
The company said we had
1,900 left.
$1,000.
I see. I was thinking we owe
4,500,
1,900.
John.
Yes.
500.
All right, put it on for a vote.
Do you want any more information? So this representative, we've met with him a couple of times in the summer, he basically would make all of it go away if we would commit to a longer contract.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't want to commit to the longer contract. So we went, we would go 2 years, and I said that's as far as we would go. So it wouldn't go away at 2 years. We had to extend it to 3 or 4 years. So we've been kind of, I call it playing chicken, because Fred refers it as magic money, and he kind of jostles us around all the time. And they've had to do this before to kind of get him back in check. Like, I think he thought he was gonna steamroll over us because we've got 3 different people in that role since I've been there. And they're younger people, and that's kind of where I'll be from.
Lisa, can you, who was the last yearbook?
We had Kylie Dillon when I first came in, then we had Cassie Perkovich the following year, and last year Mark Marino took it over.
He's new.
He's currently doing it, that's kind of where we're learning. It's an odd thing, so like, there was some money that should have gone to pay off the debt, but it went in to pay off that, like, he jostles things around a bit. So we wanted to go somewhere else that seemed a little more credible, so that he knows that he will be. Those numbers, he just kind of keeps increasing them.
All right,
I'm looking
You
at
guys
their
okay?
webpage now. If you want to go to entourageyearbooks.com, you can check out the quality, what they would look like, because I was thinking that too.
It was $88.99 last year.
The flip side, if we're not gonna have 110 yearbooks, so.
no, well, you never know.
You
because
might have 2
Parents,
years.
parents will order, grandparents can order, that kind of stuff at that price. But that's pretty steep, because how many, what are we graduating next year?
That's my question, so.
80, 70?
Say 76, 80, 70,
Yep. So
mid-70s.
Maybe.
that's at 100% sale, and you don't get that. You might get 50, you said. at
What
29
about the
bucks.
juniors though?
So-
They're gonna buy one.
That means your ads are gonna have to make up the
Grandparents and other
difference.
people buy them, but
I think
They're
at the,
more apt to buy them.
at the lower price
$30
point, we
than
would probably get
$90.
better number of sales. We buy, I mean, I don't know, I just bought
Saying
it for my
50%
every
is
year because
Pretty apt.
we did, but I'd be.
We're not really losing if we try it.
No, I'm not, I'm saying probably to do this.
Yeah.
But you're still gonna be full. Unless you sell enough ads and you're back to your yearbook, then with that fixed with ads, you have to pay for it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and here's another thought, if
Better
we're,
at this.
I'll just throw this out, but here's another thought. If there are additional yearbooks, like when there are band concerts or graduation, whatever, have them on a table and sell them to the public.
Okay, guys,
Because,
we're getting off
but
track
anyway,
a little bit.
just a thought.
What the question is, should we put this on the agenda to pay off the balance? It's
Yeah.
1,900 some bucks.
We don't have a choice.
I just, we're gonna have to do that, so we'll put that on. What we'd like to have also on, I don't know when the time frame for this, I'm guessing it's probably take ads in a month or two, right? Probably start to do that. Can you provide us with a little bit of stuff like ad costs, that kind of stuff, so maybe we'll have a few ideas for Mark if you're gonna do this again. He's new,
He is new.
okay?
He has a better idea this year than he did. So this would be the first time we've had the same person 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, good luck to you.
No, he's very sharp and he's
Yeah.
mathematically minded and I had talked to him about some picture issues. And he's trying to do this in the most cost-effective way as possible, and I feel like we're gonna be in good shape if Mark takes care of it.
All right, fundraiser calendar, you guys can see that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Item C, make a difference, be resolved, the Board of Education discussed and authorizes Amber Doherty and the Cookie Club to sell cookies to raise money for childhood cancer through the program Make a Difference. Motion for that? Daniel Hoover. Second by Mrs. Mark Renner. Questions or comments?
Yeah, why is it on here? Is this timely? Because it's not needed.
This is on here because she started baking cookies already. And I wanted to make sure that the board knew about this before anything happened, before they were collecting it. So,
Okay, is there a date when that you wanted to share with us or?
a date.
Yeah.
Mrs. Gibbons gave her the okay to do that, and then Mrs. Gibbons told me, I said, you probably really should let the board know about this.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, transportation, be resolved, the Board of Education approves the following bus substitute bus drivers for the 24-25 school year. You can read who they are. Yes, they have been reviewed and approved, so they will, so I'll make the motion. Mrs. Carol Lee. Any questions or comments on the bus drivers? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, athletics. Be resolved, Board of Education discuss hiring the following assistant coaches as recommended by the head coach and athletic director. You can see who they are. It's assistant boys girls basketball coaches and assistant boys basketball coaches and the volunteers. I'll make the motion for that. This is Norm approved. Questions or comments?
Yeah, does everyone have a current clearances on file? Do you have all of those, Mr. Pajak? We're good with those now.
All in favor?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I just had a question. I just wanted to know why the girls only had 2 assistant basketball coaches and the boys had 3.
We hired a head coach and assistant coach because we had new coaches coming
Okay.
up earlier. this-
So it's all the same?
Yep.
Okay.
Good, Norm?
Yep.
Good, Norm?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Now the trainer. Be resolved, the Board of Education discussed and hired additional trainer to fill voids in games we are not able to cover like junior high football. The cost of the additional trainer will be $45 per hour as needed.
So I asked for this to
We
be.
need to motion in second.
Oh, sorry,
Motion, Norm, is that what you do?
Yep,
Motion,
motion.
Mrs. Norm Krug,
I'll second.
second, Mrs. Deanna Hoover. Questions or comments?
Yeah, so I asked for us to,
Norm, did you have a question first?
Yeah, I,
She made the motion, Jeff.
No worries.
okay, I talked with, Mr. Pajak the other day about, he knows my concerns, but it is, are we looking at strictly junior high football then? Is that what we,
No, I think the main reason for this is, so that came up because of an incident at a junior high game. And I think a third trainer, you know, to bring onto our staff here would be very helpful in the event that one of our two that we currently have cannot make it, because just like teachers, just like bus drivers, just like anybody else that works in the school district, we always seem to have a backup whenever the kids need something. This would be that backup to fill some voids in the athletic schedule when our two current ones can't make it to a game because they have families, they have school, they have a lot of things. So that was the main reason why, is we had an incident at a junior high football game where some sort of medical professional wasn't there at that time to help with the incident. The incident was a concussion. You know, the kid I don't think has returned to school yet. I talked to James Kane over at Cambridge Heights today. But you know, we had some pretty upset parents that there was nobody there to scoop their kid off the field. So that's kind of why we were adding this again to our agenda to talk about it.
the second thing I have comment on, the price you're putting 45 there, is that in line with our second trainer?
We only have one trainer.
Or our,
Yeah.
okay,
So the EMT, we only pay $25 because she's currently will graduate this December from athletic training school, St. Fran, or IUP, I'm sorry. So she's kind of like, kill two birds with one stone type of person. She's got a lot of knowledge in that field, but she's just paid as an EMT.
okay, so you're saying this person is actually a certified
Certified
qualified
AT.
trainer? Okay, and then will you be bringing the name to us? Because there's no place for a name in here.
Correct, because this happened all so fast. I haven't reached back out to that person yet. She was on board when we brought this up in August to help cover our soccer games and some of our junior high games as well. And I had a meeting with other athletic directors today. We do this every other month. And, you know, I was gathering some information from them that I think you as a board will kind of be interested in. So we have currently 12 schools in the Heritage Conference. 10 of these schools outsource their athletic training facilities with places like NovaCare and Excel, Vantage Therapy as well. And the average, or the minimum, I should say, is $58,000 for that contract. Other schools in the Heritage, such as Conemaugh Township, Marion Center, River Valley, Portage, and West Shamokin, have all hired an athletic trainer as an employee of their school district. River Valley just hired one the other day. I saw in their school board minutes for $73,000. Marion Center just hired one at $35,000. Last year at Northern Cambria for both Mel and Erica, we spent $10,000 on athletic training services. So adding one more to cover those voids just in soccer and junior high and moving forward cost the school district an extra $1,350. So in total, we're looking at below $15,000 in medical services for all of our games throughout the entire athletic seasons.
Danielle, you're in it.
And I don't know all the ins and outs of this, but I was told that coming up this year, there's gonna be a minimum that you have to pay a trainer to have.
That's actually under the Wages and Fair Labor Standard Act.
Right, so at this time, it's probably more cost effective to have them as needed. However, once that passes and the hourly rates go up, it might be more cost effective to have them on staff as a salaried employee. In fact, it would be cheaper to have them as a salaried employee than to pay what might be more like $85 an hour for all of the sports that we need. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, I think it would be beneficial, I know for me and our student athletes to have somebody there at practices every single day. I mean, that's something that NovaCare provides to Cambridge Heights. That athletic trainer comes in at 2 o'clock and she leaves when the last athlete leaves for the day. You know, she has to come in even on non-game days to go through concussion protocol stuff. We don't have that here to offer to our kids. We have to outsource it. I always, call the parents, say, move down to Excel. We'll do the return to play policy with them.
he's been good about that, but it'd be nice to have that person, you know, on staff, hire a school district employee as a trainer or outsource it, just like other school districts do. So we have options, but I just want you to know, you know, there's numbers there. We're saving a lot of money by having Mel and Erica here to do their thing, but a third, it can't hurt. It's pretty cost efficient as of right now.
Like,
I actually, I was just gonna really say that it seems like the cost would be, I think you said around $1,300 for soccer and junior high football, because we're just providing for home games, and it would be probably a couple hours a game, I'm guessing.
And the
So it's
fall.
minimal cost.
Yeah, in the fall, we're dealing with the most sports programs right now, with 3 different football teams, 3 different football games, junior high, and varsity volleyball. Sometimes they're happening on the same night, sometimes different nights. So it's a lot throughout the week. During the basketball season, Erica and Mel were good last year, you know, just 2 different sports going on. And then in the springtime, you got softball, baseball, and track going on. So it'll be nice to have a third. That. For the safety of the kids.
everybody good?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the additional information.
Absolutely.
Would you be able to give us the name when you get it?
Yeah, I'll reach out to that same person that I got. She's still on board. Absolutely.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, there's nothing else before the adjournment, but I just have one question. There was an item you emailed me about Easter's money that you wanted to have me sign without ward. Did we refund that money?
Roland is going to see what we can do, but it's likely that, we won't be able to spend that money. We'll know more. We'll know more when he finalizes all of his calculations.
Is there a time frame we have to return it by?
That I don't know.
I don't want to be fined if there is, so if you could let us know, that would be great, okay? Okay, here's all the committee of the whole meeting of the Northern Cambria School Board for October 2nd, 2024. We adjourned at 8:41 PM. I'll make the motion. Goes to Caroline. Any questions or comments on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Yeah.